Welcome everyone to a special Wednesday night edition of Fish Report Live. My name is Craig Fissinger.
And I'm Ken Francis.
And we're coming to you live again from the Fish Report studio here in Russia, Ohio. Ken, we're so excited about basketball. I guess we just decided to do this a night earlier, huh?
Yes, we did, and maybe we're busy tomorrow night too. I'm not for sure.
Yeah,
but regardless, we couldn't go a week without a show, so here we are on a special edition Wednesday night.
I don't know if you've heard the last couple weeks in the NBA, heard about the term Linsanity at all?
I've heard that term, and Jeremy Lin of the New York Knicks has just got things all stirred up in the NBA and in New York City. And we need a phrase, Craig. Maybe we're fantastic or fishtastic, I guess.
Fishtastic, live stereo, maybe something like that.
That would work.
We'll work on something there.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to things. Got a lot to cover tonight. We're going to be talking to our SEL girls correspondent TK in just a little bit. We got Big Dog back this week talking about boys SEL hoops, and then we got a big time interview coming up over in Macland with Marion Local's head boys coach Kurt Goettemoeller. Looking forward to that. So let's get to it. Start like we do every week with our weekly trivia question. And what do you got for us tonight, Ken?
All right, Craig. Well, the winner this week again will receive Fish Report Live sports T-shirt. So if you know the answer, be sure you get it over to us. The area is blessed with many great coaches in boys and girls basketball running their programs, and including in these great coaches this year, we've got Anna girls coach Jack Billing. Last year he was the Ohio Coach of the Year in Division III girls basketball. This year all he's done is go 20-0 and a #1 ranking in the state of Ohio, looking to repeat as state champion. And so congratulations to Coach Billing on a fantastic year and a 20-0 regular season. Another coach, Craig, on the boys' side, Scott Elker from Jackson Center. Right now he's sitting at 19-0, also very deserving of the Ohio Coach of the Year in Division IV boys basketball. He's taken a team that most analysts thought would be a pretty good Jackson Center team this year, Craig, and turned them into just a phenomenal basketball team. They've won all year with tenacious defense and just sharing the basketball on the offensive side. So Coach Elker, good luck Friday night and finishing off a perfect season. Tonight's trivia question is this. Speaking of boys basketball coaches, who was the last Shelby County League boys basketball coach to be named Ohio Coach of the Year? Who was the last Shelby County League boys basketball coach to be named Ohio Coach of the Year? Tweet us, text us, get us an answer somehow, and you'll win a T-shirt.
Well, that's a great question, and we'll see how well our viewers out there know their Shelby County coaches. It's got me thinking, that's for sure. All right, well, let's get to girls basketball. Like I said, we're going to get our SEL girls correspondent TK on the phone. It's the end of officially the end of the regular season is over. They're starting tournament now. Division III tournament's already started. Division IV tournament's going to be starting this weekend, and so like I said, we're going to be in full tournament swing here in just a second. Let's get TK on the phone though and ask him a few end of year questions that me and Ken have. TK, are you there?
I'm here, guys.
Oh, good. We got a good connection, it sounds like. TK, it's glad to have you back.
It's good to be here, even on Wednesday night.
Hey, we were just telling our viewers out there, we've officially, we're over the regular season and we're getting into tournament time. I want to ask you, what do you enjoy more, the regular season, or are you more excited about tournament?
Well, that's a good question. The end of the season is always nice because you're looking forward to tournament. When you get in the tournament, the one and done atmosphere makes it a lot of fun, and to see all these good teams coming together from different leagues really builds things up.
Yeah, it sure does. It's an exciting time of the year. Well, we want to ask you some questions, some end of the season questions, I guess you call them. We're not going to talk about all the SCL teams, but we got a few teams we want to talk about. And you up for this?
I'll do it my best shot.
All right. Well, I'm going to start out talking to you about the top team in the Shelby County League, and that's Anna. Anna played their first tournament game tonight against Dixie. I didn't hear how they did. I'm assuming they probably won. Dixie had, I think, about 2 or 3 wins. But anyway, that's going to bring Anna's winning streak to 44 games. 44 games in a row they won. I want to ask you, TK, how far can they go? How long can this streak last? They're #1 in Division III right now. I think there's maybe only 2 other teams that don't have any losses in the state. But how far can the Rockets take this?
Well, I think they could take it all the way and go back to back. I think they might have an edge on a lot of other people because they've got experience in those girls from being there last year. But as you mentioned, there's 2 other teams that are undefeated in Division III across the state, and they're also ranked in the top 5. I think they'll give Ann a battle, but odds are I think Ann might just take this all the way through and win out the rest of the year.
I have to agree with you on that, TK. Like I mentioned before a little bit in my pre-trivia question there, Jack Billings just got these kids playing so hard. They're so well coached. They do everything so fundamentally well. I just don't see anybody's going to knock them off. And, I was looking the other day. I think the state record for girls basketball consecutive wins is 71. And if they win out this year, that gets them to right at 50 or 49, I guess it would be. And, 20-0 next year puts them at 69. So don't be surprised if, they would do the same thing next year again. They're just really strong right now. So that brings us kind of to our next team, Craig, a team potentially next year that could knock Ann off, and that would be Fort Loramie. They're a very young team this year. They've been to the regional 4 consecutive years. They've been to the state tournament 2 consecutive years. How far can this young Fort Loramie team go this year before running into a big stumbling block?
Well, Ken, you look at the bracket they're in right now in Sydney. We talked last week. I see them getting through that. They head down to Brookville 1, and there's only one team in that section that has a winning record. That's Newton. I see them going right through that. But then they're going to run into Triad or Tri-Village, number 2 and number 8 teams in the state. So they got a big battle when they get to that level, but they're going to go a good ways, I think. But like you said, they're a strong team, but a lot of experience from being at the tournament last year, and they'll go pretty deep, I think.
What Tri-Village is you said that's a regional game or a district, possibly a district game?
I can't remember.
That would probably be a regional semifinal game, I believe.
I want to say it might even be a regional final game. I want to say in that regional semi game, they may meet up with like a
Fort Recovery.
Yeah, somebody like that. Maybe a max school in the finals. But anyway, I agree. I think Loramie can get to the regionals pretty easy, and
I agree.
We picked them last week to get to the sectional, and like you said, TK, I don't think the district will be any problem either. So, but all right, and that takes us to our next team I want to talk about, TK, and that's Botkins. Botkins finished the league out this year with a record of 5-7. Last year they were 3-9, TK. The year before that they were 2-6. With first-year coach Don Mack leading them this year, you think he's got them heading in the right direction? It certainly seems that way.
Yeah, it does, Craig. And if you look at their JV team, they've got a pretty solid group that's going to be coming up. At one point, they won 5 in a row this year. The JV squad did. So even though they're losing Christine Johnson and Claire McCullough, I think they're going to pick up some scores. And I think they're playing good ball. Their JV and varsity play a very physical game, and that's going to win them the close ones. So I think they're in the right direction. They'll be a team to reckon with next year.
Well, I agree with you there, and Don Mack has just done an outstanding job at Botkins, and we wish him the best of luck as he takes on a few of the Ohio Heritage Conference schools.
Yeah, and I might be wrong here, but I think McCullough is actually back. Is she a junior?
I believe she's just a junior.
Okay, because
yeah,
they'll have McCullough back, and they got their point guard Cook is going to be back as well, and Pitts. And they got a couple other a junior and a sophomore that are really good too. So yeah, I think he's got them heading in the right direction, and I look for them to be a good team again next year.
Next team I want to talk about, TK, would be Russia, our favorite team. They've got a winning record this year, first time since the 08-09 season. Right now, Russia's sitting at 11-9. They play a lot of young kids. How far do you feel they can go in the tournament run, and how does the future looking for Coach King and the Russia Raiders?
Well, they've got quite a battle ahead of them with Triad, assuming that they make it through their first game. If they get past that game, they're going to go a couple more good games out there. But that'll have to be the game of the year for them, looking at what Triad's done this year. But you talked about the future with this team as well. Like you said, also a lot of young kids. Only lose one senior, and that's Alexa Sesho, and actually she was unfortunately injured this year, and didn't get to participate, but a strong group that's coming back with a lot of experience, and a bunch of good freshmen coming up that are going to fight for positions on that varsity squad as well.
Yeah, I just see them getting better and better, and some of these freshmen, you know, I've attended several of these games, and sometimes you look at these freshmen, TK, and you forget they're freshmen, and even the sophomores, and you know, you find yourself yelling out there to do this and do that, and like I said, you kind of forget they're just freshmen. They're 14-year-old, 15-year-old girls out there. So, but I think the future does look bright for them.
Well, best of luck to all those teams in the tournament run. Anything else for us tonight, TK?
Well, just a couple of items. I wanted to touch on some things that almost had some records this last weekend. Trisha Lacey of Urbana had 12 three-pointers in a game on Saturday.
Wow.
Just missed the state record of 13 three-pointers in a game. She's quite the player over there. I believe she's a junior at Urbana, and has, I think, a record with three-pointers as well.
Nice.
And then another note, first big upset of the tournament last night for Sales was upset by Northridge, 56-52.
Boy, that was a shocker there, wasn't it, TK?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they're a young team, and if I remember correctly, when they came to Rushi, I think they started 5 sophomores. So, you know, I expect to see them back next year and probably out for a little revenge.
You know,
Yeah, they'll be right back in it. A lot of the good young teams, same thing we've been saying about Longview, we can say about Versailles. They'll be right back. A lot of experience with a very young crew, so that'll be somebody to deal with for the next couple of years.
agree. And that Lacey girl that you were talking about before, TK, if I remember reading right, she's just a junior. In the game that she made 12 threes, she was also just a mere 20 for 20 from the free throw line in the same game. So 12 three-pointers and 20 for 20 from the free throw line. That's a pretty solid performance.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, TK, we got to go. We got a big show tonight, so we thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to talking to you next week, maybe about a little tournament basketball. That sound good?
Yep, hopefully that's some good results for next week's show. Look forward to it.
All right, we'll talk to you later, TK.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right, that was our SCL Girls correspondent, TK. And let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to bring Big Dog back. He was gone last week. We're going to bring him back, and stay tuned for that big interview with Marion Local coach Kurt Goettemoeller. We'll be back in a few.
Turn off the BP sound, close the drawer and sweep the floor, change the sign, close the lock the door. Kevin's waiting in his Thunderbird, blasting down the pitiless old American girl. Restless girls is ready for the night, all they're ready for the night. 17 pissed at the world, we don't know why, but it's worth fighting for. Tomorrow's just a lifetime away, but tonight is everything. It's another small town song about nothing ever going on a Friday night. Heading to a town, score some bills and get up to rising. Check out the local bands, tie on a bus and take a chance with a pretty girl just to get shot down. Another night in a small town.
What are you doing our show?
Yeah. All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about SCL girls basketball. Now we're going to change gears and switch to SCL boys basketball. We're actually having a little problem getting hold of our SCL hoops correspondent, Big Dog. If I understand correctly, he's out of state today.
He is. He's traveling with the Wright State Raiders men's basketball team tonight. We'd hoped we could get Big Dog on the line, but unfortunately, we couldn't.
When I talked to him before the show, he said he was in the middle of a men's basketball game, so who knows, maybe the Raiders got one on the line here right now. And
that's right.
And
so we'll miss you, big dog, but we'll cover for you.
All right. Well, I wanted to talk about the SCL with basketball. They end up the boys end up finishing their season this weekend, Ken. It's the end of the regular season. They're getting ready for tournament. There's not really a whole lot to decide as far as a winner goes. Obviously, Jackson Center's got that honor of winning the SCL this year. But I think these games Friday night, there's a lot of importance there. And I want to bring these games up and let's discuss them a little bit and talk about how important they may or may not be.
I agree. I think they are important. Everybody wants to go into tournament on a run and with a nice win at the end of the season. So yes, these games Friday night and Saturday night are important games. And the first one, Craig, we got is Houston at Newton.
Yeah, so. Houston, they're a perfect 4-0 in February right now. My guess is after they play Newton on Friday night, they're going to be 5-0. They came off of January that they were 2-7. Let me ask you, is Houston all of a sudden dangerous?
Houston is very much improved. Coach Willoughby's got them playing very well right now. I'm not for sure the caliber of teams that they've really knocked off here during this 4-0 run. They've got Newton Friday night. That Newton's just an average team as well. But Houston definitely is somebody that is going to be reckoned with. And I look for a very interesting game, probably that second round of tournament when Lehman and Houston get together.
Yeah, they were beat by Lehman earlier in the season. I want to say maybe it was 10 points.
Yeah, but it was a fairly close game, and I look for Houston to that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I agree with you. I think Houston. I know they've got some good players. They got a good coach, and that would scare me if I was the other team. So. The other game I want to talk about are an SCL matchup, Jackson Center at Anna. I don't know anyone out there that expected Jackson Center to go 12-0 in the county, much less maybe 20-0 in the season. Let me ask you, is Anna the team that's going to knock off Jackson Center and ruin that perfect record?
Well, Craig, I predicted last week that Lehman would be the team to knock off Jackson Center.
I remember.
And Jackson Center fans, I apologize for that because you really showed me up and you stuck it to Lehman last Saturday night. And I'm going to go with Jackson Center winning this game Friday night. Anna's been playing very well. Interestingly, the other night actually I had about a 10-minute conversation with Coach Elkert during the finals of the freshman game. And, he's very concerned about Anna. They've got a lot of weapons. Jay Meyer, he can really shoot. He's really hard to defend. You can't block his shot. They got Shannon Williams who can just get you off the bounce in any direction. So Anna's playing very well. Maverick Long is a strong kid in the paint. But like Coach Elker said, he worries more about what his team does and not so much what Anna's going to do. Jackson Center's going to be there. They're going to play defense. And even though the game's going to be in a very hostile environment, Ronnie Rocket's going to be standing in the corner just going crazy along with all the Anna students, and they're going to be about 3 deep on the floor. And sometimes, they're going to feel like Anna's got 9 defenders on the floor because their students are going to be right in that corner, and it's just a tough place to play. It really, really is. But look for Jackson Center to pull away.
All right. Well, this is an interesting game, and I'm going to say something here now. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of question Anna. I know they've got they're on a heck of a winning streak right now, but I checked out their schedule, and 6 of the games they've played 6 games this year against teams with winning records, Ken. And in those 6 games, well, 2 of them were obviously Russia. One of those was Jackson Center. But in those 6 games against teams with winning records, they've gone 2-4. Now, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying they've had a little bit of an issue beating teams with winning records. Like I said, they're 2-4. Here they are playing Jackson Center, a team that's 19-0 Friday night, another team with a winning record. I think they're going to have a problem against Jackson Center. If we look forward a little bit more into when they get into tournament, I think that first round they play West Liberty Salem, which they beat them a couple weeks ago. I don't think they'll have a problem with them. But when they get to the finals of if they get to the finals of the section, I think they run into Waynesville, which has I think a 16-2 record.
16-2, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. There's another team with a winning record. I'm not saying Anna's not good. Like I said, they've had some issues with teams with the winning records, and I think they're going to have that same issue this Friday night.
I agree with you. So that brings us to our next game, Craig, which is one of these games that you could go watch this game and not see anything new or interesting. This might be a barnyard basketball game between 2 teams, Botkins at Fort Loramie. Not that these teams are down or don't have anything to play for, Craig, but I think this game Friday night and the next time they play a week later, the next game's a lot more important than this game Friday night. Don't expect either coach to show a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like I said, there's not really anything riding on this game as far as the league goes. And yeah, they run at each other the following Friday in tournament, so why would you show each other something? You know, Laramie's one of those teams too, Ken. We just saw them at Russia last week. They upset Russia, and they're a hard team to figure out because, you know, Seth Giozzi goes out there and lights us up for, what, 24 points? And then the following night he goes over to New Knoxville and has 1-3 on the game, I think.
Yeah. You know, and Craig Folenkamp, same way, played a great game against Russia. He had 17 against Russia. He was a great looking, and he's a good playing sophomore. I mean, he's an excellent player. You know, the next night against New Knoxville, I think he had 3 or 4 points. And so Laramie's been tough to figure out. But one thing, Craig, Laramie's always going to defend. They're going to play hard. And when they're hitting their shots, you know, they can be a tough team. I know the record doesn't show it, but, you know, it's not a team that you really want to run into.
Yeah. And then our last game, the last SCL game Friday night is Russia at Fairlawn. You know, if the Raiders win this one, Ken, and Anna loses their game against Jackson Center, you've got a two-way tie for second place there with Russia and Anna. I'm sure the Raiders would much rather be second in the SCL than third.
Right.
You know, how important is this game for Russia to win?
I think it's very important for Russia to go into the hangar and get a win against Fairlawn. Fairlawn is healthy. They're playing much better right now. And, you know, Fairlawn's looking at this saying, okay, let's use this as a springboard, get into the tournament, and make a nice little tournament run here. Russia needs to stop a losing streak, Craig. They've lost 4 straight. They're 12-6 overall right now. Like you said, a big win gets them to 8-4 in the league. An Anna loss has them tied for second place overall in the Shelby County League. And I think going into the season, if you'd have told Russia fans, you know, you're going to finish the year 13 or 14 wins, I think most people would have been extremely happy. Russia's had a great year. They're on a little bit of a slide right now, but look for them to right the ship, go into the hangar, and get a big W at Fairlawn.
You know, the thing about this slide, and I went back and looked at it, is they're getting off to such a slow start. You know, against Laramie, that first quarter it seems to be the problem. Against Laramie, they had 4 points in the first quarter. The game before that against Jackson, they had 7 points in the first quarter. Or excuse me, Anna, they had 7 points in the first quarter. Against Jackson, they had 9 points in the first quarter. And then after that, quarters 2, 3, and 4, they score double figures, 20-point quarters. It's that first quarter they start out so slow. And I'm afraid that if they have that kind of first quarter against Fairlawn with a bunch of high scorers over there like Gillum and Everett, they're going to be in for a battle.
Yeah,
that kind of slow start.
Yeah, they've got to get out of the block quicker than what they have. I agree with you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to take care of our SCL games for Friday night. Like I said, we're wrapping up the regular season this year, or this weekend. Coming up now, we want to go over to Macland and get Marion Local's head coach, first-year head coach, Kurt Goettemoeller on the phone. The Russia boys wrap up the season Saturday night against the always tough Marion Local Flyers. And on the phone with us right now, we have Marion Local head coach Kurt Goettemoeller. Kurt, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here. Hello.
All right. Good to have you, Kurt. This is Ken Francis.
Hello, Ken and Craig. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, listen, we know you were a long-time junior varsity coach over at Minster, working over there with Mike Lee. Very well respected. We one of our favorite coaches. Let me ask you, how has your first year as a varsity coach gone over at Marion Local?
Overall, it's been pretty good. You know, our kids work hard. Our offense has struggled some, but our defense has kept us in a lot of games. And right now we sit at 8-9 overall, but we still have our goals in front of us. We want to have a winning season, and we want to get the sectional title. So, you know, we still got a big part of our season ahead of us.
Okay. Let me ask you: are there any differences? You know, now that you're a head coach, are there any differences in maybe the number of hours you put in as a junior varsity coach compared to a varsity coach?
You know, Mike had me do a lot of film work last year, and I called most of our offense. You know, at Minster. You know, so a lot of that is very similar, but probably the biggest difference is the extra time that comes with the lower levels. You know, the coaches are now coming to me for the philosophy that I want to instill, and they're asking me for advice, things of that nature. You know, last week on Saturday, I had like 3 or 4 basketball games I had to get to. Our junior high's in tournament play now, and I was kind of running around with my head cut off that day. So, you a lot of the lower level stuff where people are coming to you and asking for your advice or your input, that's something extra that you have to deal with. So yeah, it does take more time.
Okay. Kurt, this is Ken. For our listeners out there that are not real familiar with the Flyers, can you give us a little information? You don't want to give us your whole game plan here, but can you give us a little bit of your information on your key players and what to expect from Marion Local?
Yeah, we're led in scoring by Lee Perrin. He's a guard. He averages about 10 points a game. And then we've got 2 or 3 other guys that average between 6 and 8 points a game. Alex Rosenbeck runs the point for us. And then our 2 inside guys, Adam Berkey and Craig Niekamp, stand about 6'4", 6'3", and they're both scoring about 6 to 8 points a clip as well. We play man-to-man most of the time. We'll throw in some zone here or there. And then offensively, we'll run a lot of sets and then also run a little bit of flex that Coach Lee used at Minster.
Good. Have you had a chance to watch the Raiders, and what are some of your concerns coming into that game Saturday night?
Well, honestly, I have not been able to see Rushi live, but I have watched him on tape a little bit, and the scary thing about them is they can score in all 5 spots. With the 4-guard lineup they run out there, any of those guys can score. Certainly, Trey Francis is a solid scorer on the perimeter. And then, of course, the Wilson kid inside, 6'9" Wilson, Brandon Wilson, he is vastly improved from a year ago. He's just a load inside. So with them being able to score in all 5 spots, you really can't help off anywhere, and that's going to certainly be a concern of ours.
Good.
All right, now, we know you're a teacher over at Minster, and next Friday, I think you end your regular season fittingly hosting the Minster Wildcats. Is that correct?
Yep, that's game number 20 on the schedule.
All right. Now, do you think Coach Lee over there is going to adjust his game plan at all since you know that program so well?
No, I don't really think so. We made a commitment early in the year, knowing we wouldn't play till game 20. That we've been trading tapes back and forth all year, helping each other out. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of secrets. We both have similar type teams and run similar type stuff. And, the other factor is we're getting ready for a tournament right after that. And fortunately this year we're not in Minster's bracket, which the last couple of years Marion and Minster have been in the same bracket, so they've had to play back-to-back weeks. But this year, I don't think there'll be a lot of secrets. We're kind of preparing for tournament, so I'm sure either team won't show a lot and get ready for the tournament game.
Okay. Well, now, you need to fill us in on something. We got a picture of your car, and I want to invite the viewers out there right now. If you're on the Fish Report Live page, go to the top of the page there where it says click here. Click on that picture there. Now, that's a picture of your car, Coach. And what is that on there? It's Post-it notes? It looks like it's sitting in the Minster School parking lot, and it's full of Post-it notes. What's going on there?
Well, what happened there was a little prank played on myself. The individual who spearheaded that, the whole deal there, was Austin Kaler, and he's our high school government teacher. And that was the week Marion and Minster played in the tournament football game.
Okay.
And Austin's one of the biggest Marion haters around, so he had those seniors go out there and do that to my car. And so then when I walked out there and realized they had done that, I thought, man, that was a pretty good prank, but at some point retribution may loom.
Well, I think you better watch out. You might see maybe a little of that this week as well, or next week coming up.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully not. That's certainly going to be a weird week, and certainly I still like and enjoy the kids from Minster, and I see them in the hallways all the time. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but hopefully it's something we get through. And like you said, it's a week I just pretty much want to get over with.
There you go. Well, good luck to you the rest of the year, Coach. But before we let you go, could you just give us a little breakdown on how your tournament draw went this year? You said you weren't in Minster's bracket. Like you said, that's probably a good thing. But how is your tournament draw, and what do you see going forward?
Yeah, we had our tournament draw on Sunday over at Coldwater, and we were the 6th seed. I wish we had a super sectional like you guys do there in the South, but we're basically in a 17 sectional with 6 MAC schools, so it's basically a MAC tournament. We play New Bremen in our first game 1-point game with them the first time. They beat us with 2 free throws with 6 seconds left. And should we get past them, that'll be a difficult game, and that'll be, a tough game. But if we are able to get past them, or the winner of our game would play St. Henry, most likely, as St. Henry plays Waynesville Goshen. So, and that would be a Wednesday, Friday deal that week.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
All right, Coach. We're going to let you go. Look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Looking forward to a good game, and want to wish you good luck for the rest of the season.
All right, Craig and Ken, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, Kurt.
All right, that was Marion Local Flyers head boys basketball coach Kurt Goettemoeller. All right, Ken. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our boys hoops talk. Let's find out if we had a winner to that trivia question you asked earlier.
All right, tonight's trivia question was, who was the last Shelby County League boys basketball coach to be named Ohio Coach of the Year? We've got a winner tonight, Craig. Last week we stumped everybody. Tonight we've got a winner. The winner is from Fort Loramie. He goes by Albie34.
I think I know who that guy is.
Albie34. Well, Albie34 guessed the correct answer. And in the 2007-2008 season, the Division III Ohio Coach of the Year was Matt Meyer from Anna. Coach Meyer led his Anna Rockets to an outstanding season that year, finishing the year at 25 wins and 2 losses and an appearance in the state semifinal game in Columbus. So congratulations to Albie34, and also Matt Meyer, if you're out there listening, congratulations on what was a fantastic year.
He was a pretty nice player at Jackson Center, too.
Yes, he was, and I believe his boy is a pretty nice player right now for the Anna Rockets.
He sure is. He sure is. All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Before we go, we just want to thank our sponsors real quick. We want to thank our SCL girls correspondent, TK, Big Dog. Sorry we couldn't get you on there. Look forward to maybe talking to you again next week. And a special thanks to Coach Goettemoeller over there at Marion Local for joining us tonight. And thanks to the viewers out there for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Look forward to seeing you real soon. Maybe we'll even see you at some basketball games coming up this weekend. So for Ken Francis, I'm Craig Fissinger saying good night, everyone.
Good night.